Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Fred Garcia, M.D., Ph.D. extraordinaire.
Now, the allopathic medicine only knows about the physical body, okay? And that's all it deals with. Well, the physical body curing is easy. Okay, here we go. The common denominator for all disease is chronic inflammation in the body. Everybody agrees with that. Okay? Chronic inflammation. Now, Jeffrey Bland, I was at a lecture of his in 1995. Jeffrey Bland. I'm going to mention some names, and you all should study these names and these articles, because when you do, you will come to the same conclusion I've come to. It's a wonderful world, and we have control of our own health and our own reality. Okay, so the physical body. Chronic inflammation is the common denominator of all chronic disease. Okay? Now, what's interesting is that CBD, medical cannabis, is one of the best anti-inflammatories, antioxidant there is. Okay? Right to the get-go. We have. Now, chronic inflammation is the cause. No, is the cause of all chronic disease. The cause of chronic inflammation, number one cause, and this is going to get me in trouble, is simple carbohydrates, sugar, and dairy. Okay? Jeffrey Bland, 1995, said simple carbohydrates, sugar, they non-enzymatically attach to protein in a process called glycation. Look it up. Glycation, Jeffrey Bland. And now you have a glycoprotein, which the body does not recognize itself and gives an immune response, major cause of chronic inflammation, which is the major cause of chronic disease. Ta-da! Don't eat bread or sugar. Sugar is 8 times more addicting than cocaine. This is how it works. It kicks up the serotonin and the dopamine that act on the nucleus accumbens. That's the pleasure center. So, you're all addicts. Sorry. I'm not going to pull any punches. Because I'm hoping you make sure we get this down good, because this is going to Obama for one. Okay, so the cause, chronic inflammation, a simple carbohydrate, sugar, major cause. One of the best things to prevent this selectively is CBD cannabis. Okay? Boom. Cause, cure. All right? Now we're going to move up. Sorry, Dr. Ferguson, orthopedic surgeon, but there is a cure for structural chronic pain. And my teacher, Milne Ongley, and he wrote the definitive article in Lancet. Not a bad journal. Anyway, where every doctor in this room makes a mistake, is you need inflammation to heal. And the first thing all you guys do is give anti-inflammatories. Right on the bottle it says, may prevent healing. Well, it does. You need inflammation to heal. Okay? And everybody here, big mistake. You think the body is held together by a bony skeleton. Well, yes, but the bony skeleton is held together by ligaments, tendons, and cartilage. And I do a lot of pain management. I'm board certified in pain management, by the way. I have 15 specialties. I'm board certified in 4. Okay, pain management is one of them. Anyway, so I have the authority to say this. So I do a lot of pain management for auto accidents. And whiplash, back, big auto accident, go to the emergency room, x-rays are always negative. Because x-rays don't pick up what's the real problem, which are damaged ligaments. Now, the first person to ever do, it's called prolotherapy. Ongley is the master. He was my teacher. He was so successful, he's practicing in Mexico. Okay, they kicked him out. All right? This is all true. Everything I say is true. It's all fact-based. Okay. So the first doctor to realize this, and I learned a lot from this guy. Too bad he's dead, 2,300 years ago. Hippocrates. He was on the fields of Olympia, watching. Are you getting all this? Hello? What are you doing over here? Okay. All right. Now, this is hopefully going to change the world. This is the first time I've been this blunt. Okay. Anyway, so here is Hippocrates. Yes? Yes. Okay. Hippocrates was on the field of Olympias. He was watching the javelin throwers, and they would anteriorly dislocate their shoulder, put the shoulder back in place, took a hot poker, scar tissue, fixed. Prolotherapy that I'm describing, which I've been doing for 17 years, is now becoming the big thing. All the athletes are going to Germany. Well, they could go to Beverly Hills and get it done. Anyway, I've done several Olympians and a few celebrities, but I don't want to give you their names. Anyway, so you repair the ligaments. That's the cure. So I don't use a hot poker. I use phenol. People in Germany, they use plasma-rich platelets. Okay, but it's the same process, creating inflammation at the ligamentous osseous junction. And I do necks, backs, shoulders, knees. I also do sexual enhancement too, so I do left knee, right knee, and weenies. Can't believe I said that. Okay. So the cure for structural chronic pain is repairing the ligaments. And I have patients say, Doc, you do necks, you do everything. And here in Beverly Hills, there's people who do the hand, the pinky, whatever. And I said, because it's all the same. It's all joints held together by ligaments. You repair the ligaments, you do range of motions, and you increase the muscle strength around it. That's a cure. No surgery, no downtime. And I can fix a neck or a back for as much money as it would cost to do all the MRI, CT scans, $3,000 or $4,000. I fix them. They're done. No narcotics, no nothing. Okay, so now we've talked about the structural, that's chronic pain. We've eliminated orthopedic surgery. My results are better than anybody else's in the world. Okay, so now we talked about, that's structural, physical body. Now we're going to go to the vital body. There's three things we're going to talk about tonight. The physical body, the vital body, the energy body, and the mental body. Next slide. We'll go past that one. Next one. There it is. Now, this comes from, I spent 2 years studying Oriental medicine at Emperor's College in Santa Monica. I spent a lifetime studying Ayurvedic medicine. Chakra medicine, I've done yoga, meditation. Anyway, these are all the chakras of the body. If you notice, they're associated with specific glands and organs. Okay? Now, here's a perfect example of what we're talking about. You get in an argument with your spouse. You hurt right here, the heart chakra. Okay? And the heart chakra, when it's stressed, it draws energy from the throat chakra, which is the immune response. And that's replete in the medical literature. Stress, anger, lowers your immunity, you become more susceptible to colds, cancer. Ta-da. So here is a healing process for the chakra body. It's free, it's effective, and it's no side effects. All the medicine I'm talking about, it's cutting-edge medicine, it's very inexpensive, and no side effects. Okay. So here's how you help your chakra body. Okay? First of all, breathing is important. Okay, we all hypoventilate. We breathe like little puppies, okay? When we should be belly breathing through our nose. Okay? By doing that, we can increase our volume by 500%. So we're getting 500% more oxygen. You think that's good? Of course it is. One of the results of hypoventilation is we build up uric acid, which makes us feel bad and achy, okay? Headaches, joint aches. So I teach my patients to breathe, and pranayonic breathing. I do it for 15, 20 minutes every morning. This is what you do. You inhale with your tummy going out to a count of 8, you hold for 12, and then you exhale for 10. So it's 8, 12, 10. It's 30 in total, 30 seconds. Is everybody with me? Okay. Okay, now, here is the beautiful thing. While you're doing that, and I'm going to teach you how to get into Zen meditation in 20 seconds, in a few seconds. While you're doing your pranayama breathing, you turn on YouTube, and it shows, you go to chakra activation, and all of a sudden, you'll hear vibrations and music that'll stimulate your chakras while you're pranayama breathing. Ta-da! This is quantum healing at its best. Free, it's quantum healing, and it's also no side effects. Okay, so now we've talked about the, now let's move on to the mind. The mind is the glory hole. Okay, and here is where everybody makes a mistake. Tonight we've already eliminated orthopedic surgery. Now we're going to eliminate psychiatry. Okay, everybody, the doctors talk about the brain, the mind, and consciousness. Nobody knows what we're talking about. The brain is a meat computer. You put a pin in it, you move an arm, you get secretion of certain neuropeptides, and so forth. Okay? The brain is controlled by the mind through electromagnetic information. Okay? That's why they could never make a computer that would be equivalent to a human, because only the mind gives meaning. A computer cannot give meaning. Okay? So now we have to heal the mind or help the mind. Well, again, we want to think, we know the different states of consciousness. Right now, we're mostly in the beta state. The beta state is a wakeful state of wakefulness and doing. But the beta state has a negative. That little voice that's telling you coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know? All you can ever think about is previously recorded material. And all the power, this is Western man's big cause of his problems, is that he gives so much credit to, well, it's the left brain, to figuring out problems. But what he doesn't realize, that all the problems it figures out are the ones that it created. And it's always one problem behind. Constant anxiety with a little voice. Okay, moving on. Now, let's go to Dr. Nakamura in Japan, Dr. Teller in Stanford. Both of them have showed that the electromagnetic information coming from the mind can influence water. Okay? You might have heard of this. Take a glass of water, think love, peace, joy, freeze it, beautiful crystals. Take the same glass of water, now think hate, anger, etc., and the crystals aren't as complex, aren't as pretty. Well, what part of the body is water? 80%. The average person has 50,000 thoughts per day. 87% are negative. Now, when I was studying Chinese medicine, the Chinese believe the first cause of disease is negative thinking. Wow. Does that make sense? Okay. It all falls together. Okay, so what? So we talked about the beta state, now the alpha state. The alpha state is 7 to 8 hertz. Okay, we know exactly what the frequency is. My greatest hero is Nikola Tesla. And this is one of the reasons I understand quantum theory, is because he said, to understand the universe, you must know energy, frequency, and vibration. So I spent a year studying energy, frequency, and vibration. And here I am. Okay. Energy. So we're talking about the alpha state. Well, it just so happens the virtuosos, the prima ballerinas, the Kobe Bryants. Yes, sir. Are you signaling to me? Okay. Okay. They're all in the alpha state. When Kobe is shooting his baskets or whatever, he's in the alpha state. I played big time tennis, went to the city finals, and when I was coming in the net, bam, 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 too fast to be thinking. So I was in a different state, the alpha state. Well, Also, I've been a meditator for 35 years. Why? Because one year I decided to study all religions. Jesus, Buddha, and Krishna. They all meditated and they all fasted. So I said, it's good enough for them, maybe I should start doing this. And I started doing it 35 years ago. I'm that old. Okay. I know. Quantum healing. Okay, I have more energy than I've ever had. I have 3 offices. I take care of a 95-year-old mother. And I do research constantly. And I'm presenting it to you now. Okay. So we have the alpha state is 7 to 8 hertz. It's what the athletes are in. It's what meditators get to. But here is the kicker. Nicodemus asked Jesus, how do I get to heaven, dear Lord? And he says, you get to heaven as a child. Does anybody remember that? Anyway, I was a pediatrician at one time too. Children under 5 years old are in the alpha state. So now we've identified what heaven is. Now, how to get there and how to stay there. Well, it just so happens 7 to 8 hertz is not only the alpha state, but it's also the same frequency as the sun, blade of grass, your heart, and also the Schumann wave that surrounds the planet. So here is my intuitive thought of how to heal ourselves, is to get to the alpha state and stay there. Then we are in coherence with the universe. And when you're in coherence with the universe, then you just may have access to the quantum field, which is universal energy and knowledge. Pretty interesting, huh? Okay, and I could teach you how to get into the alpha state. It takes about 20 seconds, but I'm not going to do it tonight because it has to deal with, anyway, for another lecture. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Okay, Aristotle, he says, when consciousness perceives itself, you're at the source of all being. Okay, just all of you. Be aware of your awareness. Aware of your awareness. You're at the source of being. That's the alpha state. So, I tell my patients, throughout the day, you want to become aware of your awareness. Okay? So that's healing. You're in coherence with the universe. And all of a sudden, negative thought pops out. And I always like to use letter from the IRS. Okay? So, I tell them, don't stick your head like an ostrich in the sand. Call them, write them a letter, and then forget about it. But you all have the power before you even met me to keep negative thought A from going to B, C, D, all the way down to Z, each one causing more and more damage to your body, to your mind, to your serenity, and to everybody around you. Remember, we're all vibrational. So, I come up with a Garcia two-step. You're in the alpha state, aware of your awareness. Negative thought A comes up, go back to the alpha, go back to the alpha. And so a miracle happens after a while. The head leaves you alone. And where these athletes, they get into the zone after 10,000 hours of practice. I live in the zone. And so I have access, well, I don't want to be braggadocious, but I have access, and that's how I came up with my equation of everything, the one that Einstein and Newton were all looking for. Go to my website, look under quantum healing, and there's the equation of everything. I got it because I have access to the quantum field. All right. So we talked about the physical, we talked about the emotional, we talked about the mental, the alpha state, coherence with the universe, and access to the quantum field. Okay, let's move on to medical marijuana. Hey, did you guys get that? Did you really? Because that's what's so amazing. No, I'm serious. This is what amazes me, is it took me months, years, to digest all the intricate physics and math, and yet I digest it and I spit it out to people, and they understand it. Unbelievable. Okay, medical cannabis. Okay, penicillin was the greatest advance in the 20th century. CBD, cannabis, is the greatest advance in the 21st century. And now I'm going to prove it. Next slide. Okay, here, all these super athletes, now they've all copped out. Before they do their thing, they'll take a joint, a puff of a joint. Aha, it just so happens that marijuana takes you to the alpha state. Two things take you to the alpha state. No, three things. Exercise, meditation, and marijuana. Alpha state, that's the desired state of being. After the alpha state, you have theta. Okay, alpha state, you're living on your intuition. You got rid of the little voice. Theta state is silence. And then delta, you're asleep. Anybody that has insomnia, exercises every day, go to YouTube again and turn on delta wave. And you listen to that. And also there's some very good natural products out there that have melatonin, valerian root. See, a lot of people have problems sleeping. Watch your caffeine, exercise every day, turn on delta wave YouTube. It's all free. It's all based in quantum physics, and it works. No side effects. Okay, all these athletes, okay, this is how it helps them. Okay, these are super virtuosos, right? So you would think, gosh, they shouldn't be smoking marijuana before they do their thing. Well, when they're doing their thing, they're in the alpha state, but they're in the beta state right before they do their thing because they're a little nervous. So the marijuana takes them into the alpha state, okay? They do their thing. It's, you know, it's so understandable. And I do medical evaluations for marijuana, and I was amazed that people with ADD come to me and say, marijuana helps me focus. I do better in school. I go, what? And then also depression, and on and on. So next slide. Okay, I gave a lecture at the International Cannabis Cup in Denver. So what I did prior to that, I went into what I call a Nazi study. I just studied everything about marijuana, put it all together, and because everybody's saying it's good, it's bad, and no one knows what they're talking about. Well, go to my website. You have the history, and you have all the scientific facts. So no one can argue with you. Next. Next. Okay. This is very, very interesting. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Shiva gave marijuana to humans for two reasons. One, to heal, that's the hemp, CBD, and the other for amusement. That's the THC, the marijuana. I mean, there it is. Know your history. Okay, you may have, okay. Next slide. Okay, these are just a few of the things that marijuana does. We'll go in detail. I'm talking basically about the CBD. Helps relieve stress, seizures, have strong antioxidant properties. Okay, remember we talked about the common cause of all chronic disease is inflammation and oxidative stress. CBD marijuana, it targets that specifically. Ta-da! Increases anxiety, lowers blood pressure. Okay, I forgot to mention one other thing when I was doing the physical. Okay, Linus Pauling, 40 years ago, was saying high vitamin C. Well, the Limeys, the British, your cousins, when they went around the Cape of Good Hope, they used to suck on limes to prevent scurvy. Scurvy is a vascular disease. What's killing everybody? Vascular disease. But the dumb, well, I'm going to get in trouble. This RDA thing is a figment. There's no science behind it. They say 250, 500 of vitamin C. Well, I do 10,000 every week IV. That and resveratrol. Resveratrol, that's the French paradox, okay? And the French live longer, and they say it's because of the wine and the skin of the grape. Well, I have a pharmacy, Park Pharmacy, down, well, they gave a lecture down in Anaheim, but I was the only MD there. Most of the other people there were naturopaths. Do we have naturopaths here? All right. You guys are my boys. Were you at that meeting in Anaheim? Oh, anyway, I'm sitting there with these naturopaths, and they're saying, well, everybody knows that when you really get sick, you go to Mexico. Well, no. We're going to do it here in Canada, or we're going to do it in the United States. Alternative, integrative cutting-edge medicine. High-dose vitamin C, resveratrol, also silymarin. Thousands of years they've been using milk thistle to detoxify and cure liver problems. Liver is very important, especially if we live in this toxic world. Next slide. How is hemp different from marijuana? Okay, again, cannabis sativa is the generic plant, and from that you get marijuana, THC, which gets you high. But here is some very good information for you guys that do evaluations. Is some of my patients come in and they go, you know, sometimes I get a little anxious when I smoke, a little paranoid, and then also it causes short-term memory loss. All are completely deleted if you have a hybrid. Only hybrids. Now, I'm not the first person to say this. Dr. Raphael Mashoud, the Israeli, who's done all the work on the structure of the cannabis molecules, he says also the same thing. A hybrid is best. So I tell all my patients, an indica dominant hybrid. So it eliminates all the negatives of the pure sativa, and the good news for the stoners, it doesn't affect the high. So I'm saying, get high and healthy. Always the hybrid. I don't know. If that's not ethical, I don't know, but it's true. What? What was that? Say it. What was tell what you said? Okay, never mind. Okay, get high and healthy. Always a hybrid. And that mimics the same work at the University of Michigan 2 years ago. I used to gobble down handfuls of vitamins and tell my patients to do the same thing. The University of Michigan says it's much better to get your vitamins from your food. Okay, up to 400 times better. Whoa. Again, Nazi study, what are the best foods? Who wants to know what the best foods are? Raise your hand. I don't, no hands over here. Okay, here, these are the best foods, a la Dr. Garcia. The 4 B's. Beans. It's not because I'm Mexican. Beans, broccoli, banana, berries, the 4 B's. And then fan nuts. Say it, fan nuts. F-A-N-O-T-S. Okay, F for fish. Everybody knows fish is the best source of protein. But nobody knows what the best fish is. You know, I just told you. Sardines. Why? They're very small, no mercury. Plus you're getting the whole spinal cord, which is loaded with vitamins that these dummies don't even know. They only know about a certain number of vitamins. They're baby millions of other vitamins that they don't even know about. Just like, this is modern science, right? We only know about 5% of the human genome. So we call the other 95% junk DNA. We only know 5% of what the matter of the universe. So we call the other 95% dark matter, dark energy. What we don't know, we just sweep under the rug. Okay? Well, that's what gets me excited, because I do believe there are genetic loci that if you stimulate them, you can increase longevity by 100 years. Okay? Well, Aristotle, another one of my heroes. The factors of 7. Dog matures at 2. He lives to be 14. Horse matures at 3, lives to be about 21. Humans mature at 20. We should live to be 140. If we get rid of the toxins, physical and mental. Okay? So this dark DNA and this dark matter, I'm working on it to find out what it is. And I think I'm going to come up with some good stuff. Stay tuned. Okay, so we know there's the 2 different types. There's the marijuana, THC, gets you high, but you do the hybrid, gets you high and healthy. And then we have the CBD from hemp. Now, this is the incredible thing, and this is why I said that all seniors, part of my lecture is supposed to be on aging, chronic pain. I've already taken care of chronic pain with prolotherapy. Aging. Oh, here's something very good about CBD. It also causes bone growth. Okay, I have a 95-year-old mother, and I always worry about her falling and breaking her hip. Old people fall and break their hip, that's it. Right, Dr. Ferguson? Okay, so CBD improves osteogenesis. Next slide. Okay, very good news. If you do CBD, which is totally legal, hemp is considered a food product. It's legal in all 50 states and in most of the industrialized countries of the world. So here is what I'm coming up with. So if you want to partner with me, I'm coming up, I'm going to call it Garcia's Grog. It's going to be CBD, and now we're able to get as high as 99% CBD. Totally legal, but unfortunately the way that CBD is given now is not the best because it's given in edibles that have sugar, gluten, inflammation, so you're cross purposes. So I have intuited the perfect elixir. Also, I'm going to add another half dozen to a dozen additives that'll make it a wonder elixir for the aging. Okay, next. If you do CBD, you won't be detected as far as a marijuana test because the ring structure of the cannabidiol is broken in processing, and the antibodies that test for THC, they don't pick it up. So you do CBD, you're not going to be picked up. Next slide. Yeah, we already talked about that. Next slide, please. Okay, we talked about CBD specifically affects the inflammatory response when you eat simple carbs. Isn't that amazing? And it helps with the metabolic syndrome. So, you know, that's, and type 2 diabetes. I mean, that's what's killing the Americans. I don't know about the Canadians, but that's what's killing us. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, CBD. That's the major cause of chronic disease. There's the answer. And stay away from bread, sugar, and dairy. Next slide. Okay, we have an endocannabinoid system in our bodies. And our body makes natural CBD. I can't say the other word, cannabidiol. Okay, it makes it naturally. Anamidide and 2-AG. These are natural cannabinoids that we make naturally. So this whole thing about legalizing marijuana, we already have it in our body. And here is the very interesting aspect about it. CBD, cannabidiol, I have a hard time saying that. It's lipophilic. Okay, that's why it's so effective in all psychological brain. It helps with all areas of brain malfunction, psychosis, even structural damage in the brain. Guzman in Spain, very aggressive, malignant brain tumors. He is killing them without harming any of the rest of the brain. I used to be an anesthesiologist, and the bane of the neurosurgeon is an aggressive brain tumor. Because you go in there, and even if you get it out, you muck up the rest of the brain. So here we have a proven treatment that kills only the tumor. And the way CBD kills a tumor, kills cancer. And this is replete in the literature. It kills cancer, prevents cancer. And that's why it should be part of every senior's elixir. How does it do it? It stops the growth. It prevents angioneogenesis, which is necessary for cancer to expand. It has to make blood cells for itself, angioneogenesis, and prevents metastases. And we have, now here is the very interesting thing. We've all heard about how important our genes are. Well, it's not the whole show. We've all heard about epigenetics. So you have genes, but it's important to turn the right ones on and turn the wrong ones off. Now you may have cancer genes that are turned off, but you smoke and you eat a lot of cookies, may be turned on. Okay? So here is the exciting thing. because CBD, cannabidiol, is lipophilic, obviously it helps in all brain function, because basically the head's fat and the rest of the body is protein. Okay, another name you gotta look up. Bruce Lipton, Stanford. He's doing some breakthrough work on membrane physiology. The membranes are phospholipids, fatty. We have endocannabinoids in our membranes of our cells. Well, Bruce Lipton's work says that we have two brains. The membranes may be another brain because, in effect, it lets in nutrition, lets in the appropriate electromagnetic information, and it gets rid of waste. So it just so happens that because the CBD, the endocannabinoids are lipophilic, I think they have a very important function at the membrane level. So my feeling is because we have endocannabinoids throughout our body. They're in mother's milk, they're in tea, they're in chocolate. They're everywhere. So I believe because they're everywhere in the body and in the brain, is I believe they are involved in maintaining homeostasis. Homeostasis. I studied Oriental medicine. They talk about balance, balancing the energy. The Indians, they talk about the chakra balance. You can't be at peace unless your chakras are balanced. Okay? And then another breakthrough work, I don't know if I've talked about him already, is O. Becker, M.D., orthopedic surgeon. He was looking for the cure for non-union fractures. And he studied all the medical traditions, which I have, and he found that in India, they were treating non-union fractures with magnets. And it turns out, he found out that it was the electromagnetic field that caused the healing of the bones. So then he proved, this is proof, he should have got the Nobel Prize for it. He proved that the body heals through electromagnetic information coming from the neural lemma, the outside covering of the nerve. Well, so the body heals through electromagnetic information. Ta-da! That's how acupuncture works. You put a steel needle, it's in two phases. It's in the air, it's in the tissue, that's a battery, moving electrons, a coexisting electromagnetic field. That's how it heals. Okay? Chiropractic. I heard here, doc. Bam! He stimulates that nerve sheath to send out healing electromagnetic information. Homeopathy. You have a remedy. Sends out electromagnetic information that is in water. Water, like the quantum field, is like a tape recorder. It tape records all that healing information. You drink it, ta-da, we're 80% water. It all makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Does it? Or am I completely lost you? Okay. Okay.